Thomas the Tank Engine's Snow Rescue. One cold winter morning, on the island of Sodor, a thick blanket of snow had fallen overnight. The world outside was a wonderland of white, but it also brought some big problems. Thomas the Tank Engine was in the shed, looking out at the snow with a worried face. All this snow is going to cause so much trouble, Thomas thought to himself. The tracks might be blocked, and the other engines won't be able to get through. Just then, Sir Topham Hat, the fat controller, came into the shed. He looked very serious. "Thomas," he said, "there's an emergency. A train full of important supplies is stuck on the tracks near the big hill. The snow is too deep, and the engine can't move forward. I need you to go and rescue them." Thomas was a bit scared. The snow was so thick, and he had never done a rescue mission in such bad weather before. But he was also very brave. "Of course, Sir Topham Hat," Thomas replied. "I'll do my best." With that, Thomas puffed out of the shed and onto the tracks. The snow crunched under his wheels, and it was hard work to move forward. As he chugged along, he passed by some of his friends, like Percy and Gordon. "Be careful, Thomas," Percy called out. "The snow is really deep up ahead." "Thanks, Percy," Thomas said. "I'll be careful." As Thomas got closer to the big hill, he could see the stuck train. It was a long line of carriages, and the engine at the front looked very tired. "Hello there," Thomas called out. "I'm here to help you." The driver of the stuck engine looked very relieved. "Thank goodness you're here, Thomas. We've been stuck for hours." Thomas thought for a moment. He knew he couldn't just pull the whole train out on his own. The snow was too thick. "I have an idea," Thomas said. "I'll push from the back, and you try to pull from the front. Maybe together, we can get the train moving." The driver of the stuck engine agreed. So, Thomas backed up and got into position behind the last carriage. Then, he gave a big puff of steam and started to push. At first, nothing happened. The train didn't budge. Thomas pushed harder, and he could feel his wheels slipping on the snow. "Come on, Thomas," the driver of the stuck engine shouted. "We can do it." Thomas pushed with all his might. His pistons were working so hard, and he could feel the heat of the steam. Slowly, very slowly, the train started to move. "Yay!" Thomas cheered. "We're moving!" The stuck engine also pulled as hard as it could, and little by little, the train made its way up the hill. It was a long and difficult journey, but finally, they reached the top. "Good work, Thomas," the driver of the stuck engine said. "You saved the day." Thomas was very proud of himself. "It was a team effort," he said. "We couldn't have done it without each other." On the way back to the shed, Thomas was still a bit tired, but he was also very happy. He had completed his first snow rescue mission. When he got back to the shed, all his friends were there to greet him. "Great job, Thomas," Gordon said. "You're a real hero." "Thanks, Gordon," Thomas said. "It was a lot of hard work, but it was worth it." Sir Topham Hat also came to see Thomas. "Well done, Thomas," he said. "You showed great courage and teamwork today. You've made Sodor a better place." Thomas felt a warm feeling inside. He knew that even though the snow had caused a lot of problems, he had been able to help. This story of Thomas the Tank Engine's snow rescue teaches us many important lessons. First of all, it shows us the importance of being brave. Even when Thomas was scared, he didn't back down. He faced his fears and tried his best to help others. Secondly, it teaches us about teamwork. Thomas and the driver of the stuck engine worked together, and by combining their efforts, they were able to achieve their goal. Finally, it shows us that hard work pays off. Thomas pushed, and in the end, he was successful. So, kids, remember to be brave, work together with others, and always do your best, just like Thomas did.